I think that would be good, and we just kind of take up the side. Is what you're thinking?
Yep. We're starting early, so we can let.
Or what if we sat down and put the camera there
and
facing down at us?
This? No.
I know, but we have this amazing backdrop there.
No.
Right.
No. Oh yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, everybody. Are you able to hear us? Would you let us know in the chat?
Yeah, a little mic check there.
Let me put the live chat up so we can not see it.
See it.
James, you're going to have to get on your phone and watch live chat from your phone.
I will watch chat.
But hi, everybody. Aloha and happy National Rum Day. Live here from Las Vegas in the famous Hash Lounge and Bar. Mrs. Askin say, you sound great. Great. Thank you.
How do I sound? I'm on the other device, and I don't know how I sound.
And you look great.
I'm really far away.
I just got to bring him in. This, everybody, as you may remember from our previous fun tiki shows, this is Perry, the man Haichu, the owner of this fine establishment. Perry, say hello.
Hey, everybody. Good seeing y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Perry, we just got to say thank you for letting us bother you and take over the Hash Lounge tonight. And boy, we have something special because it's National Rum Day. Yes. International World Rum Day is in June, but National Rum Day for the United States is actually today. And we weren't going to let you, our barrel buddies, miss out on a special and amazing time. So we're going to back up. We're going to get everybody into frame here. And we're going to get started with our review of the very special, the very famous. I think, James, your position is always behind a bar, right?
I know. I think it's perfect.
I think it's always you're always there.
And take a seat.
You got great lighting. Perfect. Perry, join us over here on this other side,
and then we're good to go.
And then look at us. We got the magic porthole behind us. It looks like we're actually underwater, and we're ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen, barrel buddies and barrel girls, buddies.
Look at this.
Budettes.
Wow. What a bottle.
First of all, we can't talk about the bottle yet because we are, again, in the most amazing, world-famous Hash Lounge and Bar, the most amazing at-home tiki bar that I've been to. And Angela, I'm sorry. I know that's probably going to rub you the wrong way. But, yeah, I like this one better. I'm a
little biased myself.
I just do, yeah. Just a little biased.
Yeah.
Angela's got a good spot, though, right?
Oh, her house is gorgeous. Absolutely.
Fantastic, right? We love it. But this just feels, I don't know, tiki perfect in my humble opinion.
We tried real hard.
You're doing better than trying. We'll give a good tour here before we're done tonight. Can you see the chat there, Perry? What do we have there in the chat?
Really quick, Uncle Punky says, "Oh boy, a tiki bar, Uncle P."
Oh, James has got chat. Awesome.
I got
Thank you,
chat
James.
here, so I'll take care of chat from the back here.
Thank you. And look at this. We did this a few years back, and you may remember we had challenge after challenge. How do you like what we've got going on tonight?
Nice and smooth.
We sound good. We look good.
I know.
And we're doing it with
feeling good.
Minimal stuff. Perry, how much stuff do we actually have to do this?
Sub tonight? 1K. Good to see ya.
You can fit everything in one pant pocket. It's pretty spectacular compared to where we were a couple years ago.
Yeah. Instead of bringing over a large bag and half of a truck, we everything fit in my Merce.
This is true. I will like to say I confirm that he did have a Merce.
Yep. Brought the Merce.
And I was surprised. It almost seemed like one of those, I'll nerd out, like the Harry Potter bottomless bag that he just kept pulling stuff out of.
Stuff. You're like, where's this coming from?
Of rum. He pulled out a bottle of beer. He pulled out shirts. And I'm like, where is all this stuff coming from?
Well, let's get into what you're actually here for National Rum
Day.
Day. And Perry, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and just show that to our friends at home.
Yeah, maybe zoom in a little bit there.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at this bottle, friends. This is Foursquare's. So let's talk a little bit about Foursquare.
Well, first of all, let's tell them what it is.
Okay.
This is the 2021 Foursquare 16-year aged Barbados rum, aged in bourbon casks. Shibboleth
Is
release.
its name. That's it.
This is the Shibboleth.
It's a rum blend. And I wrote down some notes here because I just want to reference those.
Go ahead and tell us a little about it there, Jamie.
So a little about this. So this is their 16th release. So Foursquare releases these typically yearly. Right now we're on the 16th year of this release. It is an exceptional cask selection, is the series of these rum bottles. And it started in 1998. Wow.
2 years after the Seals, who own it, started distilling back in Barbados at the original distillery.
Pretty much, I don't know what I want to say about this, but I think rum is on the come up. As we know, boozes have their ups and downs, trends. Bourbon, obviously, we're over the hump with bourbon and whiskey, thank God. I think tequila's huge right now.
It's the hype.
Tequila's huge. All the Amaros, I think, are really big right now.
Also very hypey.
Chartreuse, if you could find it. Monks aren't making it. Or they started making it again.
They in very limited
But in very
quantities.
limited, yeah. And let's see here. So this is the oldest rum from
There it is.
Foursquare. It is 100% tropically aged. So there is no, some of your rums are aged in a steel vat somewhere in like the mountains of Tennessee.
Right.
No. This is from Jamaica, straight down from the islands, Mon. And it is a wonderful...
not Jamaica. Barbados.
Oh, my apologies. Barbados. Thank you for the
They would be
correction there.
very upset about that.
So this rum is a blend of pot and column distilled rum. Then it was aged in ex-bourbon casks, bottled at 56%.
That's a heavy hitter.
Wow.
So oldest, I think this is really big to note. Oldest thing that they've put out in the Extraordinary Cask Selection, which is a great series. And I would say the Shibboleth was difficult to obtain. I'd like to give a public shout out to James, who got this for me. So thank you, Jimmy.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
And
I think this was like a Christmas gift or birthday gift.
This was a Christmas gift
so
of last year.
Thank you for sharing it and opening it together.
Well, that's
amazing.
The point, right? You don't just tater these bottles. I kind of tatered this one, but you're not supposed to tater these bottles. You're supposed to drink them.
Hey, so really quick. So, and I wrote this down. What Foursquare says Shibboleth means to them?
I'd like to hear what they think it means to them.
So the distillers and Foursquare proprietors, Richard Seal, says that Shibboleth can be a point of distinction of a group.
Oh.
So they wanted to have this rum represent a point of distinction in their illustrious rum collection. And for those that don't, I mean, I've talked about this before. Foursquare has the wonderful honor of being called the Pappy of Rum.
Thank you, Fred Minnick.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Ascot did give that moniker. But thankfully, Foursquare, in most states, stays on the shelves, unlike Pappy Van Winkle.
Right.
So there you go. It's the Pappy of Rum. Some states can't even get it. I was very fortunate to get this from our wonderful friends at Liquor Lineup. Shout out to Sal. Sal, if you're watching, I know you don't need to watch because you know everything about booze, but we appreciate you.
And you do your own show.
And thank you for having this offering, and thank you for just keeping Foursquare in stock because it's very difficult to get a hold of in Vegas. Much appreciated. So this is a very special release. I am very excited.
I'll just tell you the nose.
Oh my God, the nose is like it's like a pineapple.
As soon as I poured it out,
it's like, what is this?
It enveloped the room. I mean, as soon as I poured it out, enveloped the room.
Wow.
It is dry. I mean, I agree. Dried candied pineapple. But there are lots of other fun notes here that I think we're going to really enjoy. Perry, to you, sir.
Gentlemen, to you.
Cheers.
And happy National Rum Day.
Cheers out there to our friends. Happy National Rum Day. Let us know in the chat what you're drinking tonight on National Rum Day. And even if it's water, we like to know. He's like, yeah, I got a cup of water here.
How?
Okay. I'm going to pass this over to you, and I would like you to explain what you're thinking about. What do you mean, really, how?
Okay, so when you look on the bottle, it says 56 proof, and when you immediately pour it, It smells really hot right away, but I gave it a little bit to breathe. This is phenomenal. It's I don't know if you're like me, but I like spicy food, but I like it just enough to where you sweat, but not enough to where it's overpowering with the flavor. This is that perfect blend of flavor and heat to where it lets you know that it's there, but on the back end, it's so drinkable, nice and neat. You don't want this in a mixed cocktail. I mean, I'm even hesitant to put ice over this.
I wouldn't.
This is really, really good.
In all fairness, Perry even brought out some ice for us because we all thought we would probably need a cube. I don't think it needs it. I think this is sweet. It's elegant. It's like a peachy apricot, pineapple, fruit cake, Christmas spice, vanilla, custard, rancio. I get that old book, leather-bound book taste in there. Unreal,
Yeah,
guys.
there
is
is
some unreal stuff here.
There is some great, extensive flavors. The first thing I will tell you, it is sweet. It is sweet on the palate. It's that kind of sweet that makes you salivate. I still have that first sip in my mouth. It's a long finish, and I am salivating. Like,
I agree.
Salivating. My mouth is watering. It's crazy good.
It gets better the more you get into it.
I
And
believe
there's
that.
complexities in it too. Now I'm getting like a little bit of cinnamon. I'm getting some very light oak in a pleasant way. I get some black pepper, a little bit of spice as it's warming up in such a good way. Wow.
Dude, you know what this tastes like?
Wow.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to call it.
Call it.
You know, I'm good at the throwback here.
What do you got?
This is everything that makes seagrass by barrel good.
Ah, that's a great comparison.
Right? Seagrass has that apricot. You
the
age
Martinique rum. It has the apricot.
It's everything that makes seagrass by barrel so coveted and good. And this is just I mean, even it's got the bourbon, right? It was just finished in bourbon instead of bourbon
years.
in Martinique
Ex-bourbon.
rum. This is like a sweet candied version of seagrass.
This is phenomenal stuff. If you can find this at your store, if you have a buddy who owns a liquor store and you're looking for a good sipping rum, like if you like sipping scotch all by itself or something like that, you have to get a bottle of this. This is divine.
Divine is a great way to put it. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about Shibboleth, because Shibboleth, you might be going, okay, so it's a point of distinction.
Yep.
But Shibboleth is actually a very
Interesting word.
very old word.
Yeah. A lot of history.
There is a lot of history on it. Biblical history, in fact.
Oh, you don't say.
I do say.
Well, do tell.
If you're familiar with the Bible, this goes back to a story told in Judges, actually, of and no, I didn't just know that. Yes, I kind of looked it up, but I am familiar with this story. That as a way to distinguish, again, a point of distinction, as a way to distinguish friend from enemy, the Ephraimites were told to say Shibboleth as they were coming down the River Jordan. And when they were unable to pronounce it because they could not pronounce it correctly, then they knew that the guards of the river knew that they were enemies.
Oh, because of
and
their
they
accent.
destroyed them because they actually could only say Shibboleth. They couldn't say Shibboleth. Fun story else. So Shibboleth actually has a couple of different meanings as well. In Hebrew, Shibboleth is also something that is a celebration.
Oh, how appropriate for a bottle of rum.
And it is also known
Calling
as
it that, yeah.
right, and it's also known as a celebration of tradition. There are many
Very cool.
Shibboleths
Yeah.
in the faith of Judaism throughout the entire year. They celebrate many Shibboleths. Even more is a couple of unknown translations, which also meant that it was flowing water or a husk of corn. Rye wheat to be exact. It was rye,
Wow.
and it was a word for refreshment. And the lesser known translation of this is a torrential flood. So you can also use the word Shibboleth in Hebrew to mean a torrential flood. And I will tell you, it is a torrential flood of amazingness on my palate tonight. There you go.
I tried to check if this was kosher or not, but I don't see the tag.
You don't see the K. You don't see the K. The kosher K.
But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. In the chat, what are you guys drinking? You guys are so quiet. I'm so disappointed.
They're just super.
Like,
they're
everyone
enamored.
is just in awe.
They're enamored with what we have. Oh, you have to, please.
You have to freshen up.
Freshen up. They're enamored of the amazing background. It's not normal Barrel Buddies headquarters.
Don't mind. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I'm sure they're enamored with the stories we've told tonight.
So tasty. I need to do another toast, gentlemen.
Cheers. You're with those who were victimized by the Lahaina.
Absolutely.
Opportunity. Please support the strong foundation that's being propagated all over social media, the American Red Cross, all those boots on the ground who are desperately trying to find the more than 1,000 people that's still missing. So here's to you.
And just a little update for those in Vegas. We know we have a lot of local viewers.
We're the ninth island.
There are a lot of events going on this week for donations. Most of the large Hawaiian restaurants are doing donations. You just go in and you can give money to the relief effort. Please do. I don't want to get too political, but it seems like a ball has been dropped.
It's
somewhere in the chain.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, they need.
I guess some people think their vacation is more important than helping our people, even though they're in the middle of the ocean. We are all praying for them, and we hope them the best.
Yep.
And
I've spent many a good time in old Lahaina town.
As BJ has said, Vegas really does have that ninth island moniker. Like we have a ton of Hawaiians here in Vegas and a huge community. Mm-hmm. And it's just sad when you hear something like this.
100%.
That's not what we're here at the Barrel Buddies to talk about sad things. We're here to talk about positive things. So I'm going to change the topic. And
there you go.
All right. This is a celebration. This is our Shibboleth this week.
Very cool. So I want to get a little bit into price and availability.
Talk to us.
And I know that, we talked a little bit about it. It's released yearly.
But not Shibboleth, right? Only their...
No. So it's changed every year. They
do something different.
Last year was... the year prior to Shibboleth was called Nobilary.
Okay.
And then after Shibboleth was Detent.
Oh yeah, I remember Detent. Yes.
So they come up with some creative names. I don't know the background with those names. We'll have to look them up, or we'll just get them on the show. So this is released once a year. Most places. No shit.
You have it.
I think we brought this.
No, we didn't bring Detent.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty we didn't sure, bring that.
I think
we brought it. I thought we brought it 2009.
Oh,
it was.
Maybe we did it. We brought the.
It was. I don't remember where I got that, but I happen to have
got another one here.
That's how about we try? Do you mind if we try a Detent tonight?
Yeah, sure. Let's do a compare and contrast since we happen to have them both here. Same company, same distiller.
We're out of focus.
Let's see what we can do.
The camera. Maybe turn the lights up a little hair just to get us those phones to focus. Thank you very much.
How's that in the chat?
How's that sub 1K?
That's a little better. Sorry,
Bobby.
I think we're all right.
Better.
Very good. So back to availability.
What was the year on this one? 2020.
So I believe Detent was prior to Shibboleth.
Yep, it was.
This has been aged for 10 years, where the Shibboleth
is the heavy
was
hitter.
16. But this still comes in at a hearty 51%, so it's no slouch. We'll get into it in a minute.
See.
Delightful.
So I mentioned the Pappy of rum. It seems that rum is unique to certain states and certain regions of the country, because in Nevada, at least, Foursquare is fairly readily available. I would say most of the year statements are available. The 2009, the 2008. I've even seen some 2005s out there. Hit us up if you guys need a connection, because I can always go out and get those bottles. I think Sal is sitting on a few still, but at most other places, you can't get it. Total Wine, through their Total Wine Concierge, if you guys are familiar with that, they offer like a mailer where you can sign up, where they will pre-order this for you guys, the yearly Foursquare release. You can be guaranteed a bottle through the concierge service at Total Wine.
I know one of them.
If you're familiar with Total Wine. Other than that, I would say you're just going to have to look for it.
Whoa.
Even Uncle P is saying we're fuzzy. Is there a focus on...
There's no focus. There's not really a focus. Hold tight.
Oh, stand by.
Standing by to stand by.
Just a little bit.
Maybe just a hair fuzzy, but we might maybe
Hold
just
on.
clean your lens, to be honest. It looks like it's this lens grime.
Take on to that.
I think if you just do a wipe
problem.
down, just do a wipe down and it'll be good. I think that'll do it.
I got a question for you
Yeah.
about acquiring a certain alcohol after the show.
Sure, absolutely, we'll talk.
Just a moment. Oh, look, we've like really zoomed in on James.
Oh, it's clear.
Hold on, it's about to get a lot better.
Seriously, your like screen protector was covering your camera lens?
We all leave it on.
Mrs. Askin says it's clear now. It's clear.
Yeah, it's because my screen protector must have been on my camera lens somehow. My bad.
Well, I think that looks
We're
much
good.
better. Please, friends in the audience, let us know.
Hope that's better.
All right, hopefully that's better. So price. Let's get down to brass tacks here. So
You're not supposed to disclose the price of a Christmas gift, sir.
thanks for putting me in that spot.
You're welcome.
Because our audience honestly wants to know.
So go ahead and tell us, sir.
Unfortunately, and this is kind of part of the industry as a whole, prices have obviously gone up. We all know inflation over the past few years. When I bought this bottle, I would say it was at the time 2 years ago, $149.
That sounds about correct.
But now the releases are $189.
Oh my!
I was just going to say on the secondary, I was looking for this.
Oh, on secondary, this is probably around $400.
Keep going. I saw it for as much as $600
Yeah,
a bottle
believe it.
today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you can get it MSRP at $179, I still say that's a steal. I highly recommend this.
It's an investment as well as something delicious. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Correctamundo.
Very interesting.
And I will tell you, James, you're going to get me on tilt a little bit
Please get tilted.
because you started talking
I
about,
want to share the tilted wealth. I feel like I'm
Okay, you're
the
the-
only one that
you're
goes
the one
on
that
tilt
rants.
all the time and rants.
and I'm the one that's going to really rant. And I don't even know if that I'm the one that should be doing that because
Oh, I'll bounce off it if it's something
Well,
that I can also.
Perry here has a much better collection of rums than I do. But here's what I'm going to say. Nobody knows anything about rum except for a very, very small few. And to that, I would say take advantage in your markets because I can walk into Total Wine and I can still buy a 2011 Foursquare single barrel for $80. Secondary pricing on that is a $300 bottle. I can go to a couple of different bars that I enjoy drinking at who actually keep Foursquare single barrel on the shelf. And they price 2-ounce pours at $13.
No.
Yes, because they don't know. And they're carrying it because some distributor said, this is a big deal rum. You should put it out there. Real rum heads are going to know. Sure, real rum heads. How many real rum heads do you know? I'm not even going to call myself a real rum head. I just know a little bit about a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty deep in the tiki community. I only know a few people who are really, really, really into rums. Most
Yeah.
people are into like making cocktails, mixology, that kind of stuff. There's a handful of dudes I know who are really taking the time to dig deep. So
And it's
Yeah.
interesting. I love this because and the chat's like, let him cook. Exactly. This is BJ's on his rant.
Don't
Love
stop
it.
me here.
Let him cook.
Here's the thing, and I feel unofficially linked to the tiki community. Obviously, I have a lot of feels, and I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of love for that community. It is a big part of my life. It's a big part of who I am. It has always been a big part of who I am forever. You can go back, and my mother to this day will tell you all I ever wanted was Aloha shirts, and she didn't know why or where I picked it up from. And you know what? Doesn't matter because it's in my heart, it's in my soul, it's who I am. So
That's it.
to that, I would also just add to what Perry added, a real cocksmith, and that's a real term, not just a mixologist, but a true cocksmith, You have to have the right kind of rum for the drink and cocktail that you're making. Otherwise, it's not the correct cocktail, right? A painkiller should be made with Pusser's rum.
Every time.
And if it's not a real painkiller. And in the rum community, that's how serious it's taken about the craft that this is. What the Seals are doing, and they go back a long time, they would buy the rum produced by Foursquare.
Cocksmith.
They created Cocksmith. It's a real term.
A little cock on the
Hashtag Cocksmith. They would buy this to go mix it, and that's where we get Doorleys. Doorle apostrophe Y, which is also
Hey, guess who makes Doorleys?
phenomenal.
Guess who makes Doorleys?
The Seal family.
Foursquare, the Seal family.
And let me just tell you, you can buy a 10-year aged Doorleys
It's all coming together.
for $18.
Yeah, Dorley's is
Friends.
a hidden gem. It's cheap for sure, and it's really
It's
solid. I agree.
Disgusting that you can do that. But we love that you can because it's amazing. It's an amazing product. These guys have been doing this for ages. Foursquare was created in the late 1700s. It's still creating from the
Pirates.
original
Hello.
rum house in Barbados. They bought this in the 1900s because they were already just sourcing everything from Barbados and said, you know what? We should just buy it. And then in 1996, they started not only sourcing, but distilling, aging. Like, these are people who truly know what they're doing. This is not just some run-of-the-mill grab bag for somebody who needed to throw rum into their back end to sell to some freaking bar. Get into rum.
Let's bring it full circle. What I think he wants to say is the rum market and the rum hobby, I believe, is in its infancy right now. I think that BJ and I have our finger on the pulse as far as like kind of what's big in the whiskey and bourbon world and booze world in general. We watch, news articles generally. Not talking us up at all. But my point being is that we know that bourbon's over the hump. Whiskey's over the hump. They've jumped the shark. Tons of these distilleries have gotten away from their like working man's drink of choice.
Yep.
And we're going to charge you now $70 for an Eagle Rare.
I like this dance you're doing.
What?
Yeah, it's a connoisseur's drink all of a sudden.
Yeah,
the whole game has changed.
It's not. This stuff was $20, $30, $40 a bottle 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it's just a money grab at this point. And now you have so many of these distillers that don't even distill their own shit. They buy it from the big players. They finish it in Amberana or some dog shit.
You mean Ambu?
Finishing.
They finish it in Ambu?
I'm not. That's a trigger word. What did we say about trigger words tonight? We're not going to get James triggered. Jimmy's not getting triggered tonight. Anyway, point being, rum, I think, is at a point where it's still incredibly affordable. It's all kinds are readily available. I mean, the Pappy of Rum, we're just getting these bottles.
Just pick it up.
Guys,
None
of you out there, us as the common men, common women, common whatever, can't go out there and get like a Pappy 15 or a 23 or whatever. Like,
no, you cannot. You have to like know somebody.
You got to know somebody or pay out the ass.
It's a whole
pay
thing.
$4 grand for something insane.
You got to be
$200 bottle.
It's a whole like drug deal to get a bottle.
It's a prestige thing.
It
It's
is
all
a
about
prestige
prestige.
thing.
It has
is.
nothing to do with the brand anymore. It's
100%.
all about saying, "Hey, like I have
Look what
this."
I got up
yes,
there.
exactly. And you can bring it out for your buddies, which is still cool.
Well, a lot of them don't even open it. They just, check that out.
Hater trophy.
Never going to open.
The weird thing about rum is that the tiki culture in this country has exploded over the past few years. Tiki bars are everywhere. Some of the older brands are being revived, but there hasn't been a direct correlation between the revival of tiki in general and rum culture. Like I said, on such a limited basis.
That's interesting, though. You think they
do you understand what I mean, though?
You think they run hand in hand?
You would, but like,
right?
There's
tiki. I think is on the come up. Tiki's huge. You're good. Let's talk right into it.
I pressed a button.
Oh. There you go.
Sorry about that.
You're muted, but you're good.
Sorry about that.
But you're good.
But some tiki purists are starting to believe that the market is starting to become oversaturated. Like it's starting to get it was really cool, and now it's kind of plateauing to where it's going to be
Yeah.
corny again soon because too many people are starting to get into it. Too many
Jumping on the
bad
bandwagon.
bars are starting to get opened. But
Worries
I
me.
think that there's room for growth in the tiki
Resourceful.
community with this, what we're doing here, diving deep into what makes some of these higher end rums so special, and like the connoisseur level, like where whiskey got. Rum can go there, and I don't want to say
100%.
save
You're
tiki
so
culture,
right.
but it can do something different for people who want something more.
Well, so here, you know what?
Really
Just think
quick though.
about the
Really,
prices
really,
of-
really quick.
The prices of tiki mugs have exploded. This is going to follow suit soon.
It will.
Agreed. What
Go
do you
ahead.
got?
You go first.
Okay, so here's what I was going to say. I think that's a great conversation point, and it's something that I have been really nervous about. Is that tiki was corny and like, okay.
I'll be honest. I don't think it's ever been corny. I am so surprised because I think you guys are so finger on the pulse with tiki,
Nope.
and I'm outside of the box, and I don't think it's ever.
It does. Because you get a bunch
Really?
of people who do terrible things where they're like, oh, we got a tiki drink. We just threw some rum in a Hawaiian punch, and that's my tiki beverage for the night. And you're like, no. And then it becomes totally watered down and not cool because everyone's doing it. Next thing you know, you're wearing crappy plastic lays that you bought at Party City. It's
see.
no, you know what it is? I'm gonna call you out. It's gonna be Golden Monkey at Resorts World. Where you just went to Party City
and just bought a bunch
and you bought a bunch of
plastic
crap plastic and said, we're a tiki bar now. Okay, Genting bar.
Well, the worst part about that bar is that they had a chance to do something good,
Oh, they could have.
but and the
They
drinks
could have.
the drinks are pretty decent, but
Okay.
they use fake mugs, like renowned tiki mug artists. They take cheap copies of those and display them as if they were real mugs, and they've been chastised about this from people within the community as well as the artists themselves numerous times too. Like, they don't care, they're just there to do their thing, which is unfortunate because, like I said, it could be cool, but people take that the wrong way. And if you're in town for the first time on the strip and you can't get to the Golden Tiki or Frankie's or a home bar, that's going to be your impression of the tiki community in the city, and that's unfortunate. So,
Hey, so really quick,
I agree.
I want to go back to this, and Ozzy, we're going to answer your question because I think it's valid. I want to get back to tiki.
Ooh, we got questions.
But for our friends that are here for the Shibboleth review, we want to get to this really quick.
So we got 189.
We're going to talk about a rating system because we have to explain it to Perry.
That's fair.
So he can rate it on our scale.
You are correct, sir.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to hand it to you for that, since I think you are the most articulate.
Why?
I'm a little on tilt because of your comments
Thank
earlier.
Ambu.
So,
I'm going to buy you a shirt. It says, I love Ambu.
stop.
It's going to say Ambu. It's going to be like those shirts that say Ambu cask, Ambu stave.
We're gonna get back to tiki. But guys, you're here for the Shibboleth review. We're gonna get to this review.
They're here for all of it.
So please.
All right. So
tell
here's
us
the
our
rating
review
system. The rating system, right? We rate on 3 different things. The first thing that we rate on is the nose. How's it smell? Is it got a nice aroma, a good fragrance, a parfum, if you will, that entices you to get into that cocktail or beverage? The second thing is the flavor, the palate. How does it taste? Is it something that entices you to keep drinking? Is it something that you enjoy? Is it something that opens up and provides some background and complexity? And finally, the price. Is it a value? Does it have value? And we do this on a scale of 0 to 3. 3 being the best, 0 meaning absolutely not. And then there's the blown away bonus.
1 point is reserved. For the
1 point is reversed. And then we use this to also then give the rest of you who do an out of 10 score. What is that? We still bring it full circle
We just
to
add
an out of
a
100 score, so that way we can all understand what's going on. So does that
Break
seem
it
fairly
down.
simple for you?
yes, it
Nose,
does.
taste, value.
Nose, taste,
That's
and
how we rate
value.
our beverages.
James, start us off with the nose because you were
God.
blown away.
Okay, I was trying to hold back because you started pouring this and we were on a tangent. We were talking about something earlier at the beginning of the show, and I am like going through my spiel, but I'm like, this nose. Oh my God, this nose. Guys, this nose is incredible. The second he opened the bottle and just made that first kind of waterfall into the glass, we were all just overwhelmed with this just like tropical sweetness, I think is the best way to really describe it, in my opinion, of a rich,
Yes.
like creme brulee,
yes.
fired like a
Like the burnt sugar.
burnt sugar on
Oh,
a
yeah.
pineapple, or like a creme brulee burnt sugar,
Mhm.
like dried apricot, plums. I just got so
Oh,
much
yeah.
in the nose alone. And that right there just wowed me. It easily gets a 3. And here's how I would like to do
Wow!
here's how I would like to do our reviews tonight. I'd like to do each one, we each go through. So now
We
what's
just run
your
through it.
nose?
Okay.
You go next. You're going to the nose.
Perfect. I'm gonna regale this over to actually Perry. I'm gonna give this to you because
All right.
I feel I gotta.
What do you think when
So-
you get the sniffer? What do you get on that?
Once again, it wasn't that it smelled so good. It's that I didn't expect it to smell that good with the power that it has behind it.
Oh, that's true.
Because if you're
What is this?
if you're a bourbon
15
person
minutes.
and you get something this hot, you're gonna know immediately. This is
such an easy
it's
drinker.
shocking. It really
Yeah.
is. The nose is shockingly good. Easily a 2.5 to a 3.
Yep, that's fair.
Like
All right.
I'll circle back on me for the real one,
We'll
but
come back.
it's 2.5 to
Because we're
3
gonna
for
get your
sure.
total score, so you can think
It's
about it.
unbelievable.
All right, BJ, what do you got?
So here's what I get on the nose. Again, dried pineapple. It's like, honestly, it's that smell that you would get out of a candle attempting to smell like a pineapple in the sweetest possible way, in not a bad way. It's delightful. I also get cream de coconut. So when you open a can of cream de coconut, I get this cream de coconut, vanilla. It's sweet but not sickly sweet. It's enticing.
Mm.
It smells like the tropics.
It's sweet but not sickly sweet. It's true. It's balanced.
It is
It's
balanced.
so balanced. It's like
But
just overbalanced, I think, on the sweet side, like candy, where you're like, ooh, this is dessert. It's candy. I know it's supposed to be sweet, and I want it. I need it. I'm going to be like a child and make myself sick with it because it's great. So for me, this nose gets a 3, and it's big. It's a big nose. Obviously, it's 16 years old. There's a lot that could be lost in that aging process, especially in Barbados, where you're
Yeah.
having big movements of
Yeah, let's
temperature.
talk about Barrel Lamaze and in the tropics.
And that-
let's
and
talk
that
about that because
cycling.
that's a great point. So BJ brings up a great point. So friends, as we've talked about before, Barrel Lamaze. So with Barrel Lamaze, and you get to learn about Barrel Lamaze too. So when you age any type of alcohol in a barrel, you have, we call it a Lamaze effect, right? You think,
But it's
barrel breathing, okay?
For
In
those
and
of
out,
you
in
keeping
and out,
score,
in and out.
it's
And we're gonna
called
explain it.
it's called barrel cycling.
Cycling.
But we call it Lamaze.
We like Barrel Lamaze. That's our trademark term. Anyway, for those that need an education, which is fine, that's what we're here for.
In and out, baby.
So in the tropics, think about the weather down there. Hot and humid. Is that what we can say? And then at
Yeah.
the
Hot and
night,
humid.
cold at night? Or
Cools-
does it
I would say
stained?
cools
ocean
down.
Coolness,
Cool and damp.
cool and damp.
But I wouldn't say cold.
I wouldn't say cold. Okay, cool. I will take that.
But
back.
you know what?
Cool
Those
and, yeah,
Hot days, those
hot,
hot
muggy days,
days.
friends. As you know, fluctuations in
sucking that
temperature.
juice into the barrel.
Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain?
I'm
it?
just giving some background here, baby.
You're not. You're stealing
You're
my
gig
thunder.
jumping me.
And you totally just stole my thunder there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you gotta finish it.
No, finish. I'm sorry.
I'm done.
No. I triggered him tonight, boys and girls. I'm sorry.
In the bourbon community, they call this the angel share. Is that right?
A bit.
Yeah.
So what we're talking
Same
about
kind
the
of thing?
process. So the angels share. What you got to remember is there's a lot of evaporation. So when liquid sits in a barrel for any amount of time, there's obviously evaporation because a barrel isn't completely airtight. So with the juice in that barrel, the liquid in that barrel, when it contracts, that liquid goes in and out of the wood as the temperature increases and decreases, and you get this in and out effect of that liquid going in and out of the wood, pulling those sugars, those esters, those flavoring from the wood staves of the barrel into the juice. You have ex-bourbon barrels, casks,
Molecules.
whatever. You have to remember this: an ex anything barrel has at a minimum 1 to 3 gallons of leftover product from whatever said barrel was.
Damn, boy.
So this has at least 1 to 3 gallons of bourbon in it in a barrel.
And we don't know
In a
who
barrel, you're probably getting about 160 to 200 bottles. So you're getting a pretty decent
A little blip
A
blend.
little blip.
Is
of
there
bourbon.
is there an online forum that has a guess as to who they were stealing cooperage from?
I'm actually super curious about that. Who are they getting their barrels from?
I need to dig.
Yeah,
Is
is there something we may have to tell you to? We may have to tell you to follow us on Instagram so that we can post that information.
Tune in next week. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the taste. Well, James, you want to take us through taste?
I'm gonna text my buddy real quick.
Oh, he's taking us through the text here. So I'm going to jump into taste, if that's okay.
Please do.
Any objections?
No, please
Any
do.
objections?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Wow. I think that there's going to be a lot said about this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let these gentlemen tell you, but
Oh wow! Thank you.
I will tell you the nose translates. I think we've said a lot about what this product is like through the experience. It's obviously extraordinarily pleasant. It definitely does not drink like it's 56%. And we're drinking small amounts. For those of you, as we always say, drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. 1 ounce pours, 2 ounce pours. If you got a little heavy hand,
Right. We've done
That's it.
probably 1 ounce, maybe less.
One and a half.
We've been obviously we're being a little chintzy with this. It's a one time. It's a one-time pour.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna just again going back to that seagrass comment. Rum,
Great reference, by the way.
fresh, apricot. I do think of like peach cobbler. There's a baked peach cobbler
Definitely
fruitiness
baked spice, baking
that is good.
spices, Yeah.
And for 16 years in an oak barrel, I get no oak. There
Baffling.
is a spice, but it is not the typical oak spice that we would experience. And to that, I turn it over to whoever's next.
I'll take it.
There you go. What's your taste opinion on this sucker?
To echo your statement, how the nose directly translate to the taste, it's rare how seldom that is true. It's, like you said, you're like, oh, fruit and vanilla and this and that, but the more you get into it, and I put a little bit of ice in it, I don't want to say there's some smoke in it, but just a little bit of
You get that little peatiness,
little pepper.
Yep.
It's so good. Like, it's got all the flavor. Chefs will talk about covering certain flavor profiles in certain dishes to kind of cover the bases of your palate. And it seems like this does a really good job of that. It doesn't overwhelm in any way, but it gives you all of it if you want it. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you can find kind of whatever you want in it because it's all there. It's really, really
all there. Total package.
Like, usually when I get a rum, I'm immediately, I'm like, what kind of drink could I make with this? What could I put this in? This and that. How can I fix this up? This is not like that. Like, my wife is a bartender, and sometimes she has people come to her like, okay, there was a guy who wanted to order Johnny Walker Blue in a Coca-Cola, and she was so offended by it that she decided to serve it separately instead, because she knows how much, she's a purist. She didn't like, and if you're going to go ahead and do that, you can. But that's how I feel about this rum, is it's so good by itself. It just seems weird to try to church it up anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jimmy, brother, please.
Absolutely. I'm good with the mic. Here's the thing I want to say first. This was my comment from earlier. The first thing I do, and I've talked about this with you guys on the show many a times, the average amount of money you should be spending on an age statement product is on average $10 per year.
Yeah.
That has not changed. Even with inflation, et cetera, over the past few years. I've talked about this for the past few years. We're at the point where we're in this a few years now. It is still $10 a year. For this to come in, I talked about that 10-year product. That would put this at around $160.
Yep.
For even the current price of $179, I still consider this a steal.
Yeah, but what
I
about
would
your
buy this
flavor?
every day. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Did I say a word while you talked? No.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Sorry, Perry. I don't fucking breaking bottles over here. Excuse me. So
there's a war club right back there.
I love that. So here's the thing. What I want to say is, here's the thing. Here's what's first. Comparing this to bourbon, I find it so hard to compare to a bourbon. Maybe an Eagle Rare, maybe a Blanton's on the sweet side, maybe a Buffalo Trace on the super sweet side of that spectrum. But it compares, if you are into something sweet, custardy, fruity, baking spices, creme brulee, you need to move to rum. Bourbon's not your game. I've had so many bad bourbons the past couple of months. And I've been so upset with a lot of the stuff we've been drinking. That now having this rum is such a relief that I know that there's good alcohol still out there that I haven't had. It makes me very excited for the future that there's some really good rum that I still need to go down the rabbit hole and try.
Dang.
That I hope we're all going to do this together. I cannot wait.
We're just discovering this now. What else is out there that we haven't found yet? Yeah,
exactly. And I think that this calls for a series of rum shows. And I
Further
know that
investigation.
BJ and I usually talk outside of production. We talk production calls outside of the live
so
audience.
excited right now.
But I think I not to volunteer Perry, but I think we're going to rope in Perry and we're going to continue our series.
You can rope in Perry.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue our series of rum reviews because after trying this, I am so excited to try older age statement rums because here's the thing. We know that with bourbon and whiskey, around the 12 to 15 year mark, you get this over oaked
the oak tea
taste, oak tea. Because you remember, bourbon is in fresh, charred, new American oak typically, where these lose that oakiness. Thank you. They lose that oakiness because it's already been aged in a bourbon barrel and then they reuse it for a second go around. So a lot of that oak bite goes away. So for a taste, I'm going to give it a 2. And here's the, why didn't you give it a 3? I think that it is.
Explain yourself.
It's good. I think it has a very pleasant sweetness.
Okay.
I love. Oh yeah, you tell me, huh? You tell it how it is.
There's disagreements in this house.
The animals in this house do not like the 2 rating. Do I need to change my 2? What do you think? I guess not. So I'm not changing the 2. But what I would like to say is, it has a lot of intensity in a good way. But with that being said, I don't want to drink a lot of it. It's almost like you don't eat a lot of dessert. I feel it's like you have it once, you enjoy it for what it is, and then you move on. I don't want to drink this all night because I kind of feel guilty. I almost can't. It's almost too rich and too pleasant. Fair. And I base a lot of my taste score around, hey, is this a pool pounder? Can I drink it all day?
Okay.
Or is it, like an all-nighter with a cigar? I don't think this is. I think that I can have maybe 2 or 3 big pours and be done and want to move on if I want to keep the night going. And that's where I'm justifying the 2. If it was something that I could just drink consistently and not be bored with it and not get too sweet, I would have given it a 3. So there's my justification for the 2.
And how about for that?
And I'm going to jump in on the value and snake it right back to me. And say, for the value, as I've already mentioned, $10 per year is on average for what you should be looking for with any type of whiskey, any barrel-aged libation. You kind of age it at that, you kind of judge it at that price point, in my opinion. And you'll be surprised how that lines up very often. At this 16-year product, $10 a year, it's $179 retail. I will buy this. I mean, I'm not going to buy it weekly, but this I think is a very.
But if you could, you might.
Well, that's no question. It's an amazing special occasion. Hang out with friends. Oh, it's been a while since I hung out with so and so. Let's bring out the fire. I have some friends coming into town. Break this out. I have, I got promoted at work. Break this out. Got a raise. Break this out. You guys are getting the point, right? It's a little bit more than a special occasion, a little bit up in that frequency, but it falls right in line with that.
A little bit more than a special occasion. You might say you'd pull it out for a Shibboleth.
I like that distinction, celebration. Overall, I think this is still a fantastic bottle.
Final scores?
BJ, let me think about my final score while you go into your value.
I'm going to actually snake it back to Perry.
All right, so talk about value. What do you think?
Actually,
I'm curious about your value rating because, no offense, I think you're the rookie out of our crew. So when you hear, I think 170 might be a tough pill to swallow. What do you think?
it is. It's a lot of money for a bottle of hard alcohol.
Yeah.
Any bottle of hard alcohol for any collector. That being said, if you are really looking to treat yourself, like, okay, in comparison, a bottle of Don Julio 1942 retails for about $150 all day long. And that's
True.
that's kind of like the new standard for like really, really good tequila. So if you want to have something like that in your house, but show off for your friends that drink a lot of rum, this would be my go-to on that for sure. But the problem is it's hard to find.
Very
So you can't just go in and grab this,
reference,
which
and you
is
can all hear me.
extremely difficult to deal with because once again, you're going to have to hunt for it. But this is where developing your own flavor profile comes in. Like you have to know what you like. You have to learn how to read these labels.
Yeah, it's a food product. Everyone has
Exactly.
an opinion, their own taste buds.
But
their own, yeah.
I think it's easy 2.5 on the value, just because the only reason I say that isn't because I'm in a hurry to jump out and buy $200 bottles all day. If you can get a hold of this, you can sell it for more than you bought it for immediately. So, as long as you're not like, once again, it's all about how you look at it.
Yep.
So
It's true.
I like
Beej, what do you got for us?
I like that. And so what I'm going to say about this, and keep it quick, again, I think at $10 a year, 16-year product, $189, it's in line. It's in line. I think that for what this is, a once-a-year release, the 16-year, this is a value. I am going to call this a value because this is a once in a lifetime, once in a year.
This is not a daily drinker
thing.
Friends. Like, it's not a daily drinker. But
and so that said, for something that is a limited release of 9,400 bottles to 9,600 bottles, and I don't know the exact number that was released on this bottle, but it was somewhere between 9,400 and 9,600 bottles. This is pretty incredible. You could get a bottle like that, a limited edition of less than 10,000 for $189. Now, saying that, I would tell you that most people who do drink these limited edition rums out of Foursquare, they usually buy them in multiples because they buy one to drink and they usually buy one to sell.
yeah,
And they do that because it pays for what they want, right? So if you're able to buy one for $189 and then turn around and sell it for $350, cool. You don't have to feel so bad about your purchase. And a lot of people who buy Foursquare do exactly that. I'm not telling you to do that because I don't want another bourbon fanatic craze that we just experienced and priced us out of great bourbons. That said, I do think it's a 3. My taste score was a 3. Am I blown away? No. Because
Wow.
I think that Dorley's XO is comparable, and I would be really willing to put Dorley's XO, the 10-year product, up against this 16-year product.
12-year.
Is it a 12-year, the XO?
It's 12.
A 12-year product up against it. It would be really close. I don't think it's as sweet, and it's definitely not as complex.
You might have it
I
back
will
here.
hold you. We'll take that Pepsi challenge very
All right.
soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's close.
We're gonna find out.
So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, and this puts my score on this rum. I'm going to give it a 91 out of 100.
I love that. My total score, I'm pretty much in line with you. I was going to give it a 90.
Oh.
I'm right there. I think this is fantastic. And you guys know me. I don't rate bottles.
You do not.
I'm usually
Last week, I think you gave it 36.
I'm the low guy on the totem pole of giving my ratings. However, this I think is a very special bottle in my opinion.
Yes.
Very, very solid flavors. Unexpectedly better than what I was hoping for, which when I'm surprised like that, I tend to give a higher score. And this deserves it wholeheartedly. Shout out to Foursquare and everything they're doing. Solid 90 from Jimmy.
Same,
Jerry, what do you got?
same
Score.
9 out of 10. Absolutely. I'll give it the extra point. Blown away. 2.5 up front, 3 on the taste, 2.5 for the value, and 1 for the blown away. Because it really is. I've been saying it all evening. It is something special. I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it one last time. If you can get a hold of a bottle of this, go get a hold of it immediately. Because once again, there's only as much of it there. Once it's gone, it's gone. So go. Do not pass this up.
It's funny. I want to talk about this again really quick because I noticed there's a lot of finished whiskeys and bourbons out there. And in my mind, when I hear about all this finished product, it tends to lean a lot more sweeter. And I think people out there, the general public, almost like beer, things got very sweet at one point before the market kind of dumped.
You mean all of those crazy slushy beers?
Well, you think about how beer went to like super sour and then super sweet pastry stouts. They had a whole category created for sweet beers. I think that a lot of people in the bourbon and whiskey world, especially at the amateur level, no offense to people that actually, I don't even know.
You are an amateur.
I'm an amateur myself. But my point being is that there are, you'll kind of have this expectation that you're like, I'm going to buy a bourbon and I hope it's sweet and I hope it's good. I can just sit there all day and drink it. It's great. It tastes like vanilla custard pudding, whatever. 9 out of 10 times, half of these bourbons and whiskeys we're even drinking are nowhere near that. If you're into the sweet stuff, if you're into the sweeter side of like drinks and cocktails, you gotta start digging into rums, friends. Like that's what I want to say. Like that is the key. Getting to the chat really quick. Sub 1K says, Perry, thanks for hosting the Barrel Buddies. Oh, that's amazing.
Anytime.
Thank you very
Can't
much.
wait to have you back. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Ozzy is saying, aren't tiki drinks more of a summer drink, not a daily drinker? I would say I agree.
I'm giving that to Perry.
But please, what
That's
do you got?
extremely debatable. We get 300 days of sunshine in Las Vegas every year, so we're definitely year-round tiki drinkers here.
Do you want a tiki cocktail every day, though?
Hold on.
Yeah, not every day, but almost, yeah.
Okay, almost. Beach, what do you got?
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this from again, as I said, I feel like I'm part of the tiki community, but I haven't been to enough stuff. I've been to enough stuff to know.
Hold on.
Peeps.
Stop. Hold your statement because there we go. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
I've been to enough stuff to know some peeps and to be fortunate enough to know some people. I would just say this. If you know about the tiki scene, then you know that it comes typically out of the area of Southern California. And again, to Perry's point, it's coming from a place of a lot of sunshine, fun, surf, carefreeness. There's a lot that goes into this. I would challenge you to come to Las Vegas, where I think we've got some pretty great tiki bars and a good tiki culture. And if not, then go to your local tiki bar if you've got a good one. And you can look in the tiki community forums and find out if you've got a good one or not. And they will offer holiday and wintertime concoctions, because again, you're dealing with people who are not just mixologists, not just bartenders. They're not just slopping things together. They're cocksmithing. Like Don the Beachcomber, who invented these cocktails that you drink. These cocktails come from a long tradition and history of creation, and it's done with a lot of care. And we should really treat a lot of these old bartenders and these people who made these cocktails the same way that we treat celebrity chefs. That they made things that you take for granted. Like Bang Bang Shrimp comes from Nobu. Did you know that?
No.
You probably didn't. Chef Nobu created what you know as Bang Bang Shrimp. It's not called Bang Bang Shrimp, right? It's I can't remember what it's called on the Nobu menu, but that's where that comes from. And then everybody else had it, adopted it, made it. The same thing kind of goes with tiki cocktails.
Without question, to echo BJ's point here, Christmas time at the Tiki Bar is one of my favorite times.
It's the best.
The hot buttered rums,
Oh,
all of
Oh,
the
yeah.
good Christmas cocktails.
Yes.
Like it's a fun time to see what the individual mixologists, are able to whip up. But the hot buttered rum at Frankie's is one of my favorite things that I really do look forward to it getting cold just because of that.
Very cool.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
friends, that kind of wraps up our show. We have spent a very quick hour, if you can believe it, talking to you guys.
If you
about-
liked this, I'm going to call out just
Please
one other
do.
show that you should probably watch. And it's not a show that we've put out, but I would encourage you to go look up a show called Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. Spike is a good dude. He is a front man with the Hula Girls, which is a great band. And he is a cocksmith and somebody who makes good
people
cocktails.
are asking how you spell cocksmith.
Exactly how it sounds. COCKSMITH.
Very
Cocksmith.
good. All right.
One word.
Ozzy said he's down. He always passes by Vegas. Ozzy, you got to stop on by and hit us up.
You know where to find us.
Let
Text us,
man.
email, follow us on
Email
Instagram.
us, follow us, put a comment here, follow us on Instagram at The Barrel Buds.
That's right.
If you go to our website, thebarrelbuddies.com, you will also find a contact us where you can email us.
And we love to
And
reach
we
back out.
love to chat with friends, followers, people sending us stuff. People want to hang out in Vegas. They're coming out to Vegas. We have the wonderful convenience of living here. You have the wonderful convenience of taking a vacation here.
Yeah.
Please do. And come hang out with us.
Well, with that, I would say
Barrel Buddies.
cheers and aloha. Perry, mahalo.
Mahalo,
Mahalo.
friends. Mahalo. And for the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Have a good night.